All right, Shalom. First and foremost, call Halal Yallah.
Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakah Kodash.
Double honors to the apostles. And Salvation brothers doing this thing in sincerity and truth on charity. All right, this is nothing less than the power of Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, which, as the intro, we said the intro, all praises to Yahweh, which then have the Father, Ba'asham, we said the name, Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son. And Rakah Kodash, which Holy Spirit, literally translated Spirit Holy, man. And Heavenly Father gave us this knowledge, this understanding. He woke us up in these latter days, man. So all praise and glory is due to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through His Son, Yahweh Shai, man. So He died to take away our sins so we can wake up and get redeemed from the curses, man. And part of being redeemed from the curses, man, hey, the Lord said what? Hey, we're going to get the necks of our enemies. We're going to rule over our enemies, man. Okay? And part of our enemies, say, come get Psalms 83. We don't eat him a lot. He is the top of our enemy, man. All right, but all you heathens are enemies, man. There's a list. And Ishmael and you Arabs, man, y'all are part of this, man. Y'all are enemies, man. Y'all were in cahoots, all right, with Ham and Esau and selling us in the translated slave trade, man.
This Psalms chapter 83, verse 1. It says, keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance.
Right, so this is what your heathen's plan is, man. Take us down to make us not be anymore. All right? Go ahead.
It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
And right after Edom mentioned is Ishmael, man. All right? You Arabs. All right, go ahead.
Of Moab. And the Hagarenes.
Right. The Hagarenes go back to another tribe, another clan of Ishmael. All right. And in Arab, the word Arabs mean mixed. So it's a lot of it's different tribes. I mean, different clans there. You got Ishmael, you got the Midianites. They band together, man. So that word Arab goes to the Hebrew Irab, which means mixed. Okay. Go ahead.
It says Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, and the inhabitants of Tyre.
That's right. So there's all you heathens, man. Y'all come against us. All right? Y'all all work together to make sure we stay oppressed one way or another. And Ishmael, and Ishmael and the Arabs, all right, they played a heavy role in the transatlantic slave trade. A heavy role in the Roman slave trade, heavy role and I'm talking about the Israelites, man. To hell with anybody else that got caught up in it. But man, they picked out us to be their slaves, man. They want us to be under them, man. All right? We're the ones that the world hate, man. Okay? And been showing that hatred to. They were doing this hell. They sold Joseph. They the ones that sold Joseph to the Egyptians. They're Midianites, man. Another clan of the Arabs, man. Y'all all been one thing with Ishmael, man. Y'all all come from the seed of, supposed to come from the seed of Abraham, but did not get the blessing, man. Let's call you the outcast, of Abraham, our forefather Abraham. All right? You get something by here?
It says verse 8.
Did you get something?
No.
Can you read right? I got that on count.
Genesis? Mm-hmm. Oh, go ahead. That's the spirit. I didn't know you had it.
Genesis 37, and we'll get to the point. Genesis 37 and 27. Come and let us sell. No, I'm sorry, 25. It says 23. Genesis 37, 23. And it came to pass when Joseph was coming to his brethren that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. They took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Then there passed by Midianite merchantmen. You get that word merchant, you're going to hear it again later on. And they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt.
And what chapter verse is that?
37 and 23 through 28.
And you read that last verse just read over?
Verse 28, back in Genesis 37. Then there passed Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt.
Right, so you Ishmaelites, man, you Arabs, y'all all mixed in together, man. Because the Midianites did what? Took them as merchants, just like Ishmael, sold them to Ishmael. Ishmael being the merchant, sold them to the Egyptians. So you Arabs, hey, y'all mingled in together. Ishmael, fucking Midian, Hagarenes. No, I'm talking about the Arabs. All right, and y'all all mingled in together, man. The outcast of Abraham, man. All right. I mean, of course, it's Arabs in North Africa. That's due to migration and shit. Now we're talking about them specifically, the Arabs, man. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
Back in Psalms 83, verse 8, it says, Assur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jaban at the brooks of Kashan. And it mentions the more sons of Abraham, man, which are the Midianites. So the Lord mentioned them again, man. The Lord mentioned you over and over, man. That means he have a special indignation towards you, man. As we read the scriptures, how the Lord hates Esau, man. Just as like evil, we hate all the heathen nations. And keep going. Keep going. All right, come. It says, verse 11, make their nobles like Arab and like Zebi, all their princes as Zabah and Zalamana. It says, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of God in possession. Oh my God, make them like a wheel and as stubble before the wind. Right, and they put in their minds to possess us, man. This is what they came as Confederates to do, man, to rule over us, to possess us, man. All right? So they sharing in Esau's judgment. That's Obadiah's judgment Edom, where he goes to the rest of the nations, man. All right, because this is what they do to us. All right. It says, so persecute them with thy tempest. Somebody gonna read verse 13 over. Psalms 83 and 13. Oh my God, make them like a wheel as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Flee their fate, fill their face with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Let them be put to shame and perish. God. All right, and so they're going to be put to death, man. That's what's going to come. If you test us, you test the apple of the Lord's eye, man. Right. All right, that's just what it is, man. And Ishmael, and you Arabs, maybe Midianites, y'all been doing this for generations, man. All right, when you look up the different articles on the slavery in the Arab world and stuff, man, y'all been fucking us up. No matter what we fled to Egypt, we fled to Eastern Africa. We was first getting scattered during, not first getting scattered. We've been getting scattered for a while, but we was heavily getting scattered during the Greek Empire, man. Y'all was still enslaving us already, man. Selling us to the Romans, going to North Africa, taking us out. We fled to, selling us to the Romans, man. And to any other nation that wanted us, man. Especially our women. Y'all was on the before the transatlantic slave trade. Y'all was heavy into making sure y'all grabbed up our women, man.
I said it right here. This is an article called the Jewish Virtual Library.org, and this lengthy, but I'm going to get to these first couple of paragraphs, so bear with me. It says Muhammad, the founder of Islam, traveled to Medina in 622 to attract followers to a new faith. When the Jews of Medina refused to convert and rejected Muhammad, 2 of the major Jewish tribes were expelled. In 627, Muhammad's followers killed between 600 and 900 of the men and divided the surviving Jewish women and children among themselves. They continue to say the Muslim attitude toward the Jews is reflected in various verses throughout the Quran, the holy book of the Islamic faith. And here's an insert that says they, talking about the children of Israel, were consigned to humiliation and wretchedness. They brought the wrath of God upon themselves, and this because they used to deny God's signs and kill the prophets unjustly, because they disobeyed and were transgressors. This is the Surah 261. According to the Quran, the Jews tried to introduce corruption, have always been disobedient, and are enemies of Allah, the Prophet, and the angels, man. Okay? So Islam, it also had perpetual hatred against the children of Israel, man. All right? If you read further along the article, it talks about how they will make them walk with straw shoes and throw stones and throw rocks at them. Okay, and all this is during the time when Jake was still in Western Africa, man. In Morocco, Libya, you know.
And here's First Maccabees 2:10. It says, "What nation have not gotten a part of her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?" And so the Lord lets you know right off back, man. What nation have not partaken in the downfall of the Israelites, man? You know, while the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans scattered, not just in America, man, but outside of America. Yeah, they all had us in slavery, man, but the Lord's going to redeem us. This back in Psalms 83, verse 18, it says, I'm going to read 17 over. It says, "Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yeah, let them be put to shame and perish, that man may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth."
That's right. So hey, everybody's gonna learn. Hey, you Arabs, man, you're gonna learn Allah is not the true power, man. Yahweh is Yahweh. All right, Allah Yahweh. All right, Achad, man. Yahweh, our power is one. All right, He is the true power, man. Not some generic God called Allah, man. Okay, and you're gonna be judged for texting us. Can we get that First Maccabees 3?
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Because hey, you're going to be judged for this, man. You've been doing this throughout generation after generation after generation. You have not got judged for this yet, man. Hey, real quick, I don't know. Can you get Revelation 13, 9, 10? You haven't been judged for this yet, man. You ain't getting away scot-free. Hey, everybody talking about Esau, you know, and the translated slave trade. Yeah, Esau fucked us up. And, you know, every now and then they say, yeah, they mention Africans, especially they mention the Hamites that sold us. Only try to justify themselves. Africans sold Africans. Africans didn't sell Africans, man. Africans sold Israelites, man. All right, we was in our own lands. We were separated. We was among them in their land, but we had our own, you know, communities. All right, so they knew what they were getting. Those Hamite warlords was fucking with us, taking us down and selling us with the Arabs over to these Edomites, man. That's what was happening, man. All right, so it ain't just Esau, man. It ain't just him, man. You Ishmaelites had a big role in this, and you've been doing this shit to this day. And you can go look up the slavery in Libya, man. Damn Ishmaelites has been still fucking us up, man.
You know, hacking them over with machetes, rounding them up and gassing them, man.
Yeah, it's another article I was reading. This is an article that Al Jazeera posted, man. All right, it was going to the racism they have over there towards the so-called blacks, man. You know, the type of anti-black, you know, anti-black racism. All right, Al Jazeera, and it'll pop up. You know, they still hate us to this day, and they still show it. All right, when we have jobs over in their lands, you know, us that scattered over there, they treat us like shit over there. Okay, we're not protected by labor laws. The rest of their citizens are, but they to hell with us. And this is an article posted by Al Jazeera. You got that First Maccabees? I said 3.
3:41.
You want the Revelation first?
Revelation first.
In Revelation 13:9, it says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience of the faith of the saints. All right, that's what it is, man. Okay, hey, the Islamic slave trade, the second slave trade known to man. Okay, all right, and the scripture talk about how Ishmael be a wild man. Ishmael went from the Middle East, put us a slave, always Western Africa, man, sparing none. All right, even today they got them. The brother talking about them communities of Jacob over there, where they're not protected. All right, they're getting kidnapped and sold to these damn for organ harvesting, man. Israel got a big part in that too.
This is First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 41. And the merchants of the country, hearing the frame of them, took silver and gold.
Start up one.
First Maccabees 3 and 40. It says, so they went forth with all their power and came and pitched the emeralds in the plain country.
God, if you look up that word Emas, it tell you it's somewhere in Arabia, man. Somewhere in the area. I think it's either said Palestine or Arabia.
Yeah.
So it's Ishmael. It was Ishmael and those other mixed his mixed brethren, man. All right, that mixed group, man. Median, all right, those people, man. That's the area we were in. And what was happening? Go ahead.
And the merchants of the country.
The merchants, man. Who's that merchant, man? It says what? We're talking about the destruction of America. It says the Arabian should not pitch tent. Because he's that merchant, that now rated in that Genesis, man. Ishmael and the Midianites, man, the Arabs, they are the merchants, man. All right.
And the frame of them took silver and gold very much with servants and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves.
That's right. So they came with their servants they already had. All right, which it probably was some captured Israelites they already got, man. All right, they came to do what? Buy more Israelites, man. Because Nicanor had said, I got the counter here. I'll tell you what Nicanor said. It's 2 Maccabees 8, and now I'm starting 9. Then forthwith choosing Nicanor, the son of Patroclus, one of his special friends, he sent him with no fewer than 20,000 of all nations under him to root out the whole generation of the Jews. So all the kingdom that they had ruled over at this time, he used them, all the nations to come take us down, man. All right? And with him, he joined also Gorgas, a captain who in matters of war had great experience. So Nicanor undertook to make so much money of the captive Jews. He had that mindset to make that bread, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he was an Ishmaelite or Midianite himself, man. This is what he was called. He was called a Syrian Seleucid. So he could have been Edomite because Seleucid, took over and ruled over these different heathens in that time. Well, he could have actually been an Arab, man.
He's from that place. He's from over there.
Yeah. So Nicanor undertook to make so much money of the captive Jews and should defray the tribute of 2,000 talents, which the king was to pay to the Romans. Wherefore immediately he sent to the cities upon the seacoast, proclaiming the sale of the captive Jews and promising that they should have 80 bodies for 1 talent. So they were selling 90 Israelites, man, for 1 talent, man. This was his promise he made before he even came and took us down. Like, look, we finna fuck them up. All right, we're gonna give y'all 90 people for 1 talent. He was gonna put us. They thought this was just white person out to put us in slavery for real.
We got them for the low.
Yeah, exactly. Supply and demand. So do that something like that means you got a lot of people, man. All right, not expecting the vengeance that was to follow upon him from the Almighty power, because the Lord jacked them up for thinking to touch us. At this point in time, we was on point. So the Lord looked out for us, man. All right, now we're waking back up to our heritage. The Lord will look out for us again. Yahweh Shai is delivering his people, man. All right, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latin Americans, man. He's about to come judge all you leaders for all the things you've done to us, man. And right now, Ishmael, you're the focus, man. And you're going down, man. Hey, y'all wouldn't be surprised if the Saudi economy collapse, some major gas deal happen somewhere else, some shit. All right, or refineries blow up or something, man. Lord is going to bring judgment upon this place, man. All right, from one end of the earth even to the other, man. All right, you Arabians are fucking doomed, man. The Ishmaelites are doomed, man. You Palestinians, man, doomed. All right? All right, go ahead, Bob. No, what you got something?
This is Psalms 105 and verse 15. It says, saying, touch not my anointing and do not do my prophets no harm.
That's right. Hey, yeah, damn, that's right, man. You touched his anointed, man. All right, who was the Lord's chosen? Who was the Lord's anointed, man? All right, expect the Israelites, man. Where's pleasant plant? He said, do my prophets no harm. All right? Y'all went over there to our nation to take us down, to fuck us up, to kill our priests, to kill our prophets, to sell our children into slavery, man. That's harming the prophets because it's our nation, man. So, hey, the Lord is going to bring justice and judgment for that, man. You know, hey, you Arabs ain't free. I saw an article that said, should Arabs pay reparations too?
Hell yeah.
You know, and you will. Hey, because get Jeremiah 30:16. You will pay reparations, man. All right?
I got it. This is Jeremiah 30:16. It says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity.
You got generations of devouring, generations of captivity, capturing Israelites to pay for it, man. Keep going.
And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil.
You've been spoiling us, all right? You spoiled Joseph, man. You sold Joseph. You don't think you're going to pay for that? This is just your MO. Just sell the Israelites to the Egyptians. You did in the ancient world, and you're doing it in the modern world to the modern Egyptians, man, the Edomites. It's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, we're trying to do a lot at the end of the day, man. It's going to be the same.
Yeah.
You've been the same all the time.
Ball merchant, man.
Smile on your face, man.
With damn gold on.
Yeah.
Like I said in, what is it, Joshua? They were Ishmaelites.
Yeah,
they had gold
earrings and camels, gold on their camels and stuff, man.
Gold earrings. Yeah, hey, like Dubai, what they be having, man? They be having raw ass, completely chrome Lamborghinis. So when the light reflects, it like it looks like a rainbow of colors, man. They do that shit still. Gold weapons, gold in case. The Ishmaelites, man. They was known for it. They said they had gold. They said they were Ishmaelites. They had gold in their earrings. They was known for that shit, man. Fucking sleaze balls. Sleaze balls, man.
You know you're a sleaze ball too, because he'll sell you pork. He don't even eat the shit himself,
right?
Man.
Right. Or not, or you know, some of them nowadays they don't have a pork. They still got the catfish and shrimp. When you mention it to them, you say it's unlawful, but then they sleaze ball around it. No, you're just a wicked merchant trying to make your money. And like I said, it's Sirach. Hey, damn, you know what? Let me try to find that real quick in Sirach, bro. Keep going that. Read that verse over and read that verse.
This is Jeremiah 30:16 says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds.
There you go. Hey, that's what reparation means, to restore, to make healthy again. So the Lord put you even under our feet. You know, he allowed us to devour you as devoured us, to put you in captivity as you captured us, man. Hey, that's going to be a reparation. That's going to be us getting refreshed, man. That's the reparation, man. You're going to pay with yourself.
That's right.
You sold us, man. You bought us. You traded us. You abused us, man. You chopped us up. So you're going to have to receive that same thing, man. That's repayment, man. What to say? I'm going to get my payback. Yeah, man. That's how I'm going to get paid back, man.
You should have revelation, but this the faith and the patience, man. You know, the longer you wait for something, the better it be.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, man.
Save Yahweh Shemel, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after.
Right, and y'all thought the Lord didn't care about us, man. Y'all look down on us in our own neighborhoods. Y'all getting rich off us, man. For the sleazeball merchant, man, selling fucking all a damn Willy Wonka variety type of fucking swishers and Black and Mal's. All right,
they got hookahs inside the goddamn grocery store, man.
That's right. Hey, you know it's supposed to be legal to sell paraphernalia, man. Around they get away with it. They gonna get away with it. They had the grinders up. They loophole it. They're allowed to do that shit, man. Ishmael is in league with America, man. And guess what? The Arabs, they come over to America, they have to fill out applications. All right, when they fill out paperwork, they put down, they're categorized as whites. That was the agreement they made. So they can get better pay, get better benefits, man. They categorized them with Esau, man. They right hand in hand with this damn devil, man.
Second in charge.
Yeah. Fucking merchant.
Yeah.
Hey, of course, it only makes sense. That's how Esau got rich, because of their merchandise.
Buyer and the seller, bro.
Hey, this is Sirach 26:29. A merchant shall hardly keep himself from doing wrong, and a huckster should not be free from sin. So you a sleazeball merchant, man. You can't help yourself. And what comes with that, man? You're filled with sin. To the point, you touch the apple of the Lord's eye, man.
It is Zechariah chapter 2, verse 5. I'll start at verse 8. For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, after the glory has sent me unto the nations, which spoil you, for he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants, and ye shall know that Yahweh of hosts have sent me. So like the brother said, man, you touch the apple of the Lord eye. Who's that? Israel. This is Lamentations chapter 3, verse 15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their heads at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty and the joy of the whole earth? All thy enemies have opened up their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we have looked for. We have found it. We have seen it. So all these heathen nations, man, Esau, Edom being the head, they hope and they wait on the downfall of Israel, man. And they had us in slavery. They traded us. So it got to happen to them. That's justice. That's judgment. And it reads on, Yahweh will have done that which he have devised. He have fulfilled his word that he have commanded in the days of old, which he threw down and have not pitied, and have caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee, and he have set up the horn of thy adversaries. So the Most High let them and allowed them to, take us through different captivities. But the Lord's going to also deliver us, because it was correction for us. That's why I say in verse 18, their heart cried unto Yahweh. Their heart cried unto Yahweh, O wall of daughter of Jerusalem, let tears run down like a river day and night, and give thyself no rest. Let not the apple of thy eye cease. So the Lord is not going to forget us, man. Because guess what? Israel is the apple of his eye. It says, arise, cry out in the night, and in the beginning of the watches, pour out thy heart like water before the face of the Lord. Lift up thy hands toward him for the life of the young children that faint for hunger at the top of every streets. Yeah, that was it on that.
Zechariah 11:5, who possess a slave and hold themselves now guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. Then one shepherds pity them not, because we read in an article in the Quran, Surah 2:61, it says that basically Ishmael has a right to do this because we transgress the laws of the Lord, man. So because we went off, they feel that they're justified in hacking us up, putting us on slave ships, all right, harvesting our organs, all right, and all those damn irreputed things that have been proven that they do, man. All right.
And you know what's funny? And you damn dumbass niggas that want to get with Islam, man. And you know when they was capturing us and enslaving us, and because at some point they was capturing us and taking us to their land. Trading us amongst them, taking our women, But they wouldn't want you to convert to Islam because then that would allow you to get more rights. They wasn't doing like Esau, but they was using their religion as a reason you know, to take you down. Oh, you're not Muslim, so you must convert. Or if this happens, they still fuck you up. No, it was like, don't convert. They wasn't with that. Because they had made you get more rights. They just wanted to fuck us up.
They had a word. They had a word in the article called the demi, and these were people who were supposedly converted, but not given the rights of a Muslim, man.
Mm.
You know, so they were protected, and still to this day they're not protected by Islamic rights, man. All right, hey, and also, man, hey, the Arabs don't want you niggas being Muslims, man. They don't acknowledge you as being true Muslims, man. All right, because they think of you the same way Esau does with a 2/5 of a man or 1/5 of a man or whatever. All right, you're nothing but livestock to them. This Sirach 27:1. Many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. Israel doesn't give a damn about who you are, what statue you are in society. As long as he can make a profit, man, he gonna look all that. He gonna turn the other cheek.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. That's why the Arabs sold their own cut. Them Saudis, man, in prison. All right, they sold their own people out, man. All right, to get in league, get in league with America.
Right.
They convinced everybody. They said, look, we can do this. As long as they can get to keep their rules and they get a benefit, that they got, man. They joined right hand to hand with Esau, man. All right, they joined right with Esau. All right, and convinced the rest of the world to only take deals with the U.S. dollar. If it wasn't for the Arabs, America would never got so great. If it wasn't for that deal that America made with the Saudis to only use the U.S. dollar, they convinced the rest of these OPEC countries to use the U.S. dollar when they make their deals with any country. America would have never got so great. The U.S. dollar would have never been so strong, man. So all you heathens, all right, and you can thank the Arabs too, man. Not just Esau, thank the Arabs too for your economy getting effed up like it's about to be, man, like it already is declining and such. And that's the spirit. That's why everybody on TV, everybody's hating who? Edomites and Arabs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Edomites turn to them Arabs. Mm-hmm. Arabs turn to them Edomites. They all hate them.
They're one and the same, man. They both think alike. As long as I get rich, who gives a shit? They take no account of nobody's labors. Even if you look over there, as rich as the old countries is, hey man, that's just war torn over there, man. They don't have the means, not means. They don't want that shit to stop over there, man.
That's right. Only certain parts of certain countries, certain places over there is good. Like Dubai, that's a good place. Mm-hmm. That's a tourist attraction. All right, they sold most of their people out, and of course they got their few that's prospering off of it, but it's jacked up over there, man.
Sirach 27:2, as a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so do sin stick close between buying and selling, man. So it's a thin line, man. All right, hey, there's one thing making money and having a business, there's one thing being corrupt and doing so, man. All right, and that's what, hey, you're going to talk about injurious practices, man. All right? Corrupt dealers, man. Backdoor deals. Here you are, supposed to be at war with these Arabs, right? But y'all on TV shaking hands, making new deal agreements with them, man. There's all to exploit the brown people, man, which are the Israelites. All right? Everything's made for us to be, everything's designed for them to be in league, all right, and for them to keep their foot on our goddamn neck, man.
That's right. I got a precept for you. And because the brothers mentioned Esau, Edom, which is the Caucasians today, and the Ishmaelites, and are the so-called Arabs today, man. And you also have other descendants of Abraham's sons, who's different tribes as well, man. The point is, this is Judges 7, verse 12. It says, the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the children of the east lay along in the valley like grasshoppers for multitudes, and their camels were without number as the sand by the seaside for multitude. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream unto his fellow and said, behold, a dream. So he's receiving a vision, man. And this is the Israelites fighting against the Midianites and the Amalekites, man. The Amalekites is one of the chief tribes of the descendants of Edom. and the Midianites came out of Abraham. And when you look up the word Midian, it means strife. So, like the scripture says, the Israelites is a total separation from the Midianites and the Amalekites. And when you read on, it says, and when Gideon, who was an Israelite, it says, was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream unto his fellow and said, behold, a dream, and lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of Midian and came unto a tent and smote it, that it fell and overturned, that the tent lay alone. And his fellow answered and said, this is nothing else save the sword of Gideon and the son of Joash, a man of Israel, for into his hands have God delivered the Midianites and all the hosts. And Romans 15:4 says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. So these is battles that was literally took place, you know, and it was written and kept in store for us. Because just as the Most High delivered them in our hands back then, the time of the book of Judges, He's going to do it today. But right now we're doing it spiritually, man. By telling them their judgment, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
Let's get Joel 3. I'm gonna start at 1. That's why the Lord finna. Hey, you know, Lord beautiful, man, because He's about to bring that judgment day on Syria, man.
Right.
And Syria includes, you know, Israel, includes Palestine. That area of Syria is vast. That when Syria ruled, man. That's what this great judgment day is gonna happen, man.
That doesn't sound good.
I'm not Syria, bitch.
Damn. That doesn't
But
sound
she
good.
did say it don't sound good.
Damn.
Syria.
Damn.
Syria.
Siri, no boy.
Damn. Hey, but hey, you about to get blast with fire and brimstone over there. What you call the so-called Middle East, man. All right. You know, you got Esau and his armies over there in parts of Saudi Arabia. They gathering up in Syria, man. It's going to be a huge ass battlefield, man, a war zone, man. You know, go ahead, brother.
This is Joel 3, and verse 1. It says, for behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Right, which is Yahweh Shabbat, which means Yahweh's judgment, man.
Oh.
That's what's coming up, man. All right, go ahead.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
So why this judgment's coming? Because you scattered the Israelites, man. And you scattered us and took our land. All right? So this judgment has to come upon you. Go ahead.
And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink.
Right. And so you traded us for nothing, man. All right. Hey, I was reading one thing, somebody we traded for fabric and this and that. Y'all traded us for women. Y'all traded us for wine. All right. And y'all literally turned out some of my boys into harlots, man. Use them for sexual pleasures.
Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine?
That's right. So you Hamites, Tyre, Zidon, all right, even Palestine, you know, which really the Palestine, you know, Palestine was inhabited by the Philistines. So that's Ham, but who inhabits Palestine today, man? Arabs. Y'all worked hand in hand to take us down. I'm gonna read this real quick, right? Hey, this is on ZanzibarPackage.com. And it's titled Slavery in Zanzibar. All right, Zanzibar is a little island right off the east, like right under the Horn of Africa, man. All right, right under the Horn. It's right at the east. It's the east of Africa, right? They was taking us from North Africa, East Africa for a while. When you read Second Maccabees, it's written to the Israelites that were scattered in Egypt. We was already scattered and throughout Africa, man. Not just in West Africa. All right. That was due to us further running away, shit. You know, we landed in West Africa, man. West Africa, Northern Africa, we came from the northeast. So Northern Africa, all right, Egypt, along some of the east, man. Ethiopia, lands like that. We was over in those areas, man. You know? So Zanzibar was one of the largest slave ports in the vast Indian Ocean slave trade which was dominated by Arab slave traders. The Arab slave trade originated before Islam and lasted more than a millennium. The slavers hacked their way. The slavers hacked their way from Bagamoyo on the Tanzania mainland coast into the African interior as far as the Congo. They was up in the Congo taking this, man. So they weren't just taking these. Hey, the Arabs played a big role in this slave trade, man. Okay. The slave traders traded. The slavers traded, bribed chiefs, pillaged, and frequently kidnapped to meet the high demand for slaves. So they was, they was bribing, they was coming through just jacking stuff up, sneaking, kidnapping. The newly acquired slaves were often forced to carry ivory and other goods back to Bagamoyo. The name Bagamoyo derives from the Kiswahili words Bawago Moyo, which means lay down your heart, because it was here that slaves would abandon any remaining hope of freedom or escape. Slaves who survived the long and perilous hike from the interior were then crammed into wooden boats called dwas, bound for the slave markets in Stone Town, Zanzibar, man. It is important to understand that in the context of the Arab slave trade, the term Arab represents a culture as opposed to a specific race. That's why we said Ishmael and the Arabs. We keep mentioning the mix of it, because they're right about that. All right. Many of the Arab slave traders, such as Tipu Tip and others, were indistinguishable from the Africans whom they enslaved and sold. All right, and because Arabs be dark as hell too, man. All right, and some of the North Africans getting in on like actual Hamites too. But a lot of them were just black, dark ass Ishmaelites, man. All right, and they was taking what? They was enslaved Israelites. We look more like the lighter version does. We look more like Ishmael than Ham. Like Yakin and right, they don't look like no damn Hamites. They look more like Ishmael than Ham, man. So they let you know they was taking Israelites, man. All right, that's why they even got Africans in quotes right here. From the Africans, man, whom they enslaved and sold. All of the main racial groups in Zanzibar were involved in the slave trade in some way or another. Europeans used slaves in their plantations in the Indian Ocean Islands. Arabs were the main traders, and African rulers sold prisoners taken in battle. So, the Hamites and Arabs was jacking us up, man.
You get that Port of Judah, man. They was shipping them off from over there, man. Fucking casualty, or not casualty, but prisoners of war.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were shipping us from the West Coast of Africa. They were shipping us from the East Coast of Africa, man. They was rounding us up. They were trying to remove us as far away as possible, man. Hey, it's gonna say on that Joel. They were trying to get us the fuck away.
This Joel 3 verse 4 says, "Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, and that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and will return the recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for Yahweh hath spoken. And proclaim ye this
read the verse above that last one more time.
7.
Verse above the last one.
And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they should sell them to the Sabians.
That's right. Hey, so like you did it to us, man. You sold us to send us off, to ship us away, to get us far. You sold us to who? The Grecians, the Edomites. And Lord said He's gonna sell you into us. Now we're gonna sell your ass to some damn heathens, man. We're gonna be part of the slave. We're gonna be the slave traders now. Trade, hey, having auction blocks. We're gonna do this to you, man.
And it to a people far off, for Yahweh have spoken it. Proclaim ye this among Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, your pruning hooks, into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
That's right, and that's what's happening, man. The Lord is gearing everybody up for this great judgment, man. Because it's like what you've done to us. All right, and that translated slave trade, it involved more than just Negroes coming to America, so-called Negroes coming to America. They were taking the Northern Kingdom Latins back to the other side of the world, man. You got a lot of hell to pay for, man.
All right, I appreciate that for you. Yeah, this Isaiah chapter 9, verse 2. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them have the light shine. And the light represents this knowledge and wisdom of the scriptures, man. And it is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai says, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. But reading on, it says, thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. They joy before thee according to joy and harvest, and as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. But thou hast broken the yoke of his burden and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian. And Midian is mentioned again, who's a descendant of Abraham. But it says, the Lord broke the burden and the yoke from off him, man. You know, at the end of the day, Yahweh Shai redeems us and he fights for us, man. So as it is written, Mosiah says, verse 5, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So as the Lord is gathering these nations up in the Middle East, man, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, and this one is going to be with burning and fuel of fire because it's going to be ICBM nuclear missiles. That's right. You see all these other heathen nations, getting missile defense, nuclear warheads, F-150s and things. But they having strife between Russia and America. But soon they got to choose a side, man. But the Lord is behind and orchestrating all this because he's going to judge these nations.
Right. Hey, you know what? The Jehoshaphat, the Lord, the deuce, going to be the least of your words. And when you read 2 Kings 13, the chariot is going to be blasting your words.
I think I got one for you. It's Habakkuk 3, verse 1. It says, a prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet, upon Shigionah. O Lord, I have heard thy speech, and I was afraid. O Lord, I received thy works in the midst of years. In the midst of years make known, and wrath remember mercy. God came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Parah, Selah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And as the brightness was on Salakia, and as his brightness was as the light, he had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power.
That's right. That's the concentrated fire coming out the chariots, man.
It says, before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. He stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered, and the perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. That's talking about he give you a vision of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh the Father, Yahweh Shai the Son, returning, man, taking these heathen nations down. Like the elder brother said, through them chariots, man. Through his power, because that's going to be way devastating than the ICBM nuclear missile. And it says, he stood and measured, so like verse 7, and I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction, and the curts of the land of Midian did tremble. So Midian is mentioned again, who's also a descendant of Abraham. And reading on, it says, verse 8, was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thy anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thy horses and thy chariots of salvation? And that's talking about them UFOs, man. That's the Lord's chariots. He's going to come and deliver Israel, man, from all these heathen nations which we are under, man. Because you got Israelites scattered over there. Because, off record, the brothers was going into talking about the main wars between the heathens and Jake over there. Whether Jake rebelling or Jake fitting in. Because Israelites, they learned these heathen customs as well. So you got Israel mingled amongst these other people, where the Lord have driven us. And then verse 9, it says, thy bow have made quite naked according to the oath of the tribes, even thy words, alive thou didst cleave the earth with rivers. The mountains saw thee, and they trembled, and the overflowing water passed by, and the deep uttered his voice, and lifted up his hand on high. And the sun and the moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear. And glittering spears and arrows is likened unto the nukes, man. But like the scripture says, the Most High's judgment, and when he come back, it's going to be worse than the nukes, right?
Appreciate it. You know this stuff. You know that.
It's
Amos 1:6. Thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. I will send a fire on the wall of Gaza, which shall devour the palaces thereof, man. And where's Gaza at right now, man? All right, as in over in the Middle East, man, and that's the main land that Ishmael and Esau fight over. That's not theirs, man. All right, but hey, Ham's gonna get it, all right? Because the brother alluded to earlier, Palestine go back to the word, a Philistine go back to the word Palestine, man, or the other way around. All right, so the Hamite gonna get it, and your current residents of that land is gonna get it, man. What you damn Ishmaelites?
All right. Hey, this Isaiah 9:11. It says, verse 11, Yahweh shall set up the adversary of Razan against him and join his enemies together. The Syrians before the Philistines behind, and they shall devour Israel, and with open mouth, for all this anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. It says, the people turned it not unto him that smited them, neither do they seek the Lord of hosts. So it's the Lord that's behind this, man. And again, the Philistines is the so-called Africans, the descendants of Ham. That was right along taking out Israelites. Because you look at a little clip, man, you can type it in. There's a scene from an old movie Roots, Kutha being taken down and seeing his brothers being in captivity with the Ishmaelites, so-called, because he had a turban on his head, and the so-called white man and the Africans, man. So you can simply look that up on YouTube. But that also proves that the scriptures is not a need that the clip verify the scriptures, but what's written in the scriptures verify the clip, which you can just Google, man, and see it. And the Israelites was taken down by all these heathen nations, so therefore they got to get judged.
All right. Well, this is precept. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Because it's righteous thing the Most High to judge these heathens for what they have done to us.
That's right. So with that, call Allah Yahweh.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakat Kodash.
Double brothers to the apostles, and salutation, brothers, on this thing is sincerity and truth on charity. Shalom.
Shalom.
Baba Ball.
Baba.